You are listening to the Academic Wellbeing series, brought to you by Academdum. This series is designed to help you understand how to apply your faith to your academics. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, disconnected, or simply in need of direction, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
So you can have top grades, you can have the best results in class, but that result is not sustainable because you need the understanding to establish it, to gain stability. So you don't get into a system where, so it's not guesswork. I think that's just it. When you understand, it's no longer guesswork because you know why, and you know why it is it, and why it is happening as it. That's understanding. You've made sense of what's going on. You've made sense of the knowledge, and in making sense of the knowledge, you know what's happening. You know what's going on behind the scenes. So that's why we can create different kinds of airplanes, because we understand the behind the scenes of flights. It's one thing to know how to fly. It's another thing to understand flight. And when we understand flight, we can recreate and we can apply that understanding to create different kinds of planes. Planes in different sizes, design, structure, and what have you. Okay? That's the value. The beauty of knowledge is understanding. The value of knowledge is in wisdom. The beauty of knowledge is in understanding. The value of knowledge is in applying, is in putting it to use. Okay? And the interesting thing is, I made a post one time on Instagram, right? So I've not been exactly stable, I've not been actively engaged on social media, right? So I've been on and off this year in general. But I made a post this year. Was it this year? Yes, this year. Where I talked about how what you know, what you were taught in school won't put food on your table. School will not put food on your table. What was I trying to say? Or what was I actually communicating? Because I explained it. It's not knowledge. Okay. What was I trying to say? What was I communicating? Just what you know. The knowledge you acquired in school is not going to put food on your table. Exactly. It is the application of that knowledge. It is you applying that knowledge that puts food on your table. What do I mean? Like I said, the beauty of knowledge is understanding. The beauty of knowledge is in understanding. The value of knowledge is in applying, is in wisdom, right? Now, so many people assume that once I have knowledge, money should come. No, money comes in response to value. How do I create? Your question should not be how, the question you should be asking is, how do I bring value? What's the value of this knowledge I have? How do I bring out value from the knowledge I have? Once you can extract value from the knowledge you have, money follows value. Money is an exchange for value. So once your knowledge becomes valuable, it's an answer to a need, it's a solution to a problem. You can bring out the value from that knowledge. Then that knowledge can put food on your table. So the beauty of knowledge is in understanding. The value of knowledge is in wisdom. That's wisdom in this context is application. Know what to do. Know how to put that knowledge to use. But you cannot know how to put that knowledge to use if you don't understand that knowledge. You don't know what makes that knowledge, or what makes the knowledge work. Okay? So you see, it's progressive. Knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. So when you are learning something new, always think first, what is the value of this? What value can I bring out of this? Because that value would always, it is that value you can transact for money and resources in the world of men. All right. So we've talked about how that understanding means to make sense of something. All right. How that understanding is what gives your knowledge or your results stability. Okay, now, so how exactly do you even know? But when someone asks a question like, what is purple? Okay, now this is, if I ask you a question like, what's purple? What is purple? Someone is like, okay, purple is a color. That's correct, that's true. Purple is a color. Now, if I followed up that question by asking, why is purple a color? Now, at this point, I'm not placing a demand on your knowledge. I'm placing demand on your understanding. It's not about you knowing that purple is a color. I now want to know why purple is a color. What makes purple a color? Alright? And many times when the question why comes up, why is to bring the person asking the question bring the person into an understanding, to help the person make sense of something or someone, what maybe something, a statement you made, an action you took. So the person is asking, why did you do this? Why did you do this? They want to understand, they want to make sense of this that you're saying. So if I ask you, what did you do? I slapped her. Yeah, that's what I did. Why did you slap her? Because she did this and that. That's a different ballgame entirely. That's understanding there. To make sense of something. Alright? So you realize now that you can actually know and yet not still understand. It's possible. But the thing is, if you know and you don't understand, you're not there yet. Honestly, you're not there yet. You're not there yet. Because understanding is what makes it make sense first to you. And because it now makes sense to you, you can make it make sense to another person. You can make it make sense to another set of people. Alright? So you hear people make statements like, oh, okay. Oh, I get now. What happened? At that point, they came into understanding. At that very point, they came into understanding, like, wow, okay, now I get. When you say now I get, when I say now I understand, now it makes sense. And that's the point every one of us wants to strive for. That's the point every one of us should strive for, to strive for attain. So you're not just learning, you're not just being taught for being taught sake. You're being taught, and the honest truth is the fact that this is one of the very crucial things that sets students apart from each other. I can tell you for free that there are different levels of understanding. So I, as a biochemist, so I studied biochemistry, right? And amongst the many things that could distinguish me amongst my peers, I mean, like biochemistry and biochemistry graduates across board, one of the things that really distinguish me, sets me apart, is my understanding of the course, of what we were taught, of the knowledge that was communicated to us and imparted into us, biochemistry knowledge that was imparted in us, on us, or to us, whichever one is fine by me. So because of that understanding I came into, because I came into it, it didn't just come, it didn't readily come. There were some of my lecturers that were able to explain, they were able to make it make sense. So explaining is to an end that you understand, right? So some of my lecturers were able to actually make it make sense. a good number of them actually, but they were really able to make it make sense at their level of understanding. So they did understand, they do understand it, but they would bring it to their own level of understanding. So if I want to go beyond that level of understanding, that means I have to now put in the necessary work. So now imagine a lecturer or a teacher that does not even understand. It's just going to be filling you with knowledge, loading you. So you know, but you don't get. You can know, but you don't get. That's why sometimes you're having a conversation with someone and the person is talking and saying all these things, and you're like, wait, I don't get. Not because you're not following the conversation. And the person can like react and say, are you not listening to me? No, I'm listening to you, but I don't get. What does that mean? I'm receiving the knowledge, fine, valid, but it's not making sense to me. And this sets students apart anywhere, anytime, any day. Because like I said, the beauty of knowledge is in what? Understanding. So because of my level of understanding of biochemistry, when I teach biochemistry, so I was privileged to be in Ekiti State University a couple of months back, Ekiti State University, and I spent 3 days there with them, the biochemistry department, 200 level, and I taught them 3 different courses. Like, so they're preparing for the exams, and I was brought in by the association to do like a crash course kind of thing. And I've noticed it with our chemistry lecturers in Nigeria. Not all of them, but good. I won't say the lecturers. I think the way the knowledge has been communicated in sense is not communicated well enough to make it make sense on a platter of gold. Meaning, if I'm going to understand, I have to put in like intentional effort. Many lecturers are not. They are either not trying, or the level of understanding they have is not exactly. There's still room for more understanding. There's still room for deeper and better understanding. Right? So I spent time 3 days there with them, and from the first day when I taught, I was teaching and talking about chemistry, enzymes, the classes of enzymes and everything. It got to a point when I was teaching, I paused and I was like, wow. Because over again, it became beautiful to me. And I could see the way their faces were lighting up, going from a course that they almost seemed to dread in a sense. They were just doing it because, I mean, that's what I chose to study. That's what I've entered. Let me just finish it. And these guys are now seeing that, wow, okay, this is making sense now. That's the power of understanding, because it is when you understand, you can bring people into that understanding. So it's the level of understanding that I have. I can bring people into. I don't take them above. Right? But the reality of things is that many teachers, many lecturers, it's the sad truth. Many teachers, many lecturers are loaded with knowledge. They know this thing, but they are not making it make sense to their students. They are not communicating from understanding, but they are loaded with knowledge. And that's why you would see things like, if you know this, I've heard people make statements like, if we know all these things and we have all this research work and project work that is being done in our universities, why has somebody not gotten solution to Nigeria's problem? We should have engineers and people studying engineering in universities. Why have we not developed our own cars? Why have we not built our own this and that? And I smile and laugh, because the problem is not that. The problem is not a knowledge problem. Trust me, we have knowledgeable minds, especially in Nigeria and Africa. The issue here is translating that knowledge into practical use. Going from knowledge to wisdom to application. That will not be smooth. That in many cases may not happen. until you understand. So people are pouring out knowledge into people's heads. People are just taking in the knowledge, not taking the time, not wanting to sit down or not even seeing the value in trying to understand. Because if the lecturer didn't explain, why am I stressing myself to understand? I'll give him back the way he gave me. But the knowledge, what did I say? The value of knowledge is in its application, is in its wisdom, is in the wisdom that you get from it. The beauty of knowledge is what? In understanding. So your results is dependent, your academic results and performance now, amongst many other things, is dependent on your level of understanding or the impact of the level of understanding of your lecturer, your teacher, or whatever the case may be. The lecturer's level of understanding of that particular course, topic, material can also affect and impact your own performance in that particular area. So I can't overemphasize. We could spend all day talking about understanding, honestly. But the point here is that knowledge becomes beautiful when you understand. Knowledge becomes valuable when you can practically apply it. When you can apply, you can bring practical application out of it. And to understand is to make sense of something. So if your lecturers come to class and they are pouring out all this knowledge into you, knowledge left, right, front, back, center, how exactly? Okay, I've realized that my lecturers are just pouring out knowledge. I now know that I need something more. I need to understand. How exactly do I now come into understanding? How do I start to work on my way towards understanding? Can I develop understanding? Can I build understanding? Do I grow in understanding? How do I understand? How do I even know if I understand? Is it possible for everybody to understand? I want you to know that yes, it is. And that is exactly what we are treating and going to be explaining in the science of understanding, because there is a how, there's a method, there's a way to go about it, a method, okay, to come into what? Understanding.
Amazing! You listened till the end. Now tell me, what was your aha moment while you listened? Share it in the comment section and let others learn from your experience. Also, share today's episode with someone and stay connected with us for more faith-filled guidance on school, life, and purpose.